Hi, welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. We were contacted recently by Inkbird and asked if we wanted to test and try out, I guess that's kind of the same thing, isn't it? If we wanted to do a review of their new INT-11P-B Wireless Thermometer Probe. We said, absolutely, we love thermometer probes. We use them all the time. We've got a couple of different versions or different brands of them. And we'd love to try out theirs and see what we think and give you, all of our viewers, a chance to use a good probe. Right? So, hey, they sent us one, and today we're going to do the unboxing. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a cook with the Inkbird, as well as the meter probe that Mike loves to use, and the ThermoPro temp spike, had to think of the name, ThermoPro temp spike that I normally use when I'm doing cooks. So, with that being said, let's get down to business. First, the unboxing. All right, great looking box. It's got a little bit of info on it, not a ton, right? I did a little bit of reading online, so I've got a good idea about it, but it's definitely a sharp looking box. Inside comes with important notice. If we have problems, email the support. How to download the app on both Google and iPhone. Nice little gold embossed, I guess I can't even see, silver embossed for smart home living. Good looking case, very solid, right? And you slide it open. There's a nice probe. Probe's nice and hefty. The line that you have to get the probe into is clearly visible. Like I said, it's nice and hefty. It's got two sensors, one for the meat, one for ambient temperature or the cooking chamber that you're working on. So that's awesome. Let's take a look, see what else came in the box. Assuming I can put the probe back in. Here we go. A little beep when it got put back in. It's good. You know it's charging. All right, let's take a look at what the capabilities are. So the sensors, you have, as I said, two of them. One for the meat you're cooking, one for the ambient temperature or your cooking chamber. So the internal temperature probe sensor is good from 14 degrees Fahrenheit to about 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 10°C to 100°C. The ambient probe, the one out here that's going to measure your chamber temperature or your smoker temp, is good from 32 degrees Fahrenheit to about 572 degrees Fahrenheit, or 0 to 300 degrees Celsius. The accuracy of this probe is about 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. That good beep when I put it in. I do like that. It's a nice feature. You know it's charging. Speaking of charging, charge time is about 25 minutes for this, which is fantastic. The probe that I normally use is about 30 minutes, so that even beats that. The battery life on the probe is 25 hours while in use, or 7 days while it's in the charger. It uses Bluetooth 5.1 connectivity. The range is up to 20 feet between the probe and they call this the booster. That up to 25 feet would depend on what you're cooking in, whether it's a stove or a grill that has made from a little bit of thinner material, or like our Yoder smoker, which is made of nice, big, thick steel. So that would cut down, obviously, the distance between the probe and the booster. The range between the booster and your phone via Bluetooth, they say, is 300 feet. Back to the box and what came with it. Obviously, nice user manual. Has some recommended temperatures when you're cooking things. Has a list of the recommended temperatures for different meats that you cook at different levels, whether you're doing medium rare steak or cooking chicken. It also has the stats for the phone, or stats for the probe, not your phone, and information on how to connect it to Bluetooth to link it to your phone, and some troubleshooting guides if you end up having some difficulties. Pretty normal stuff. The other thing in here is a USB-C cable so that you can charge the booster and the probe, which is really nice. Nowadays, not everything comes with a charging cable. Well, that's about it for today. As I said, tomorrow I'm going to cook 3 tri-tips, and I'm going to use the Inkbird. I'm going to use my normal probe, which is the ThermoPro Temp Spike. And I'm going to use Mike's normal probe, which he likes to use a meter. Then we have the original meter 1.0 with the block. So we'll do a comparison cook. We'll talk about all the differences between them before we start the cook. We'll talk about the app during the cook. We'll talk about different range capabilities, which one's better, which one's worse. And in the end, we'll make a recommendation on whether we like the Inkbird INT-11P-B or if, you know, it was just average, or, you know, whether it was a good deal. We'll see. All right. Till then, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we're back. Ready to start cooking the tri-tips. And like I said earlier, we have 3 different probes that we're going to use during this cook. I've actually got 4 tri-tips. I'm going to use 2 of the meter probes, and as well as 1 in the Inkbird and 1 in the ThermoPro. So let's talk about the differences between the sensors first. So as I said earlier, the Inkbird, all those sensors are pretty much really close to each other. So the Temp Pro 14 to 212 internal, same with the Inkbird and as well as the meter. The ambient for the Temp Spike, ThermoPro Temp Spike, is 14 degrees to 527, 32 degrees to 572 on the Inkbird, and up to 527 degrees on the meter. It didn't have a minimum. So all the sensors are very similar. So no change there. The apps are pretty similar as well. You have to remove the probe from the booster for it to start reading. Now, I just installed the app and put it on. It's currently in Celsius, so I'm going to change that to Fahrenheit. And it's saying that it's 72 degrees ambient. Let's see what this one says. The ThermoPro says that it is 72 degrees. And the meter is currently reading 70 degrees. So 72, 72, and 70. So remember that each of them had a 1.8 degree Fahrenheit accuracy range, so that puts them right around the same temperature. Starting over here, I already have my temp spike set to beef medium rare, which is 125, which is where I want to stop cooking these tri-tips. Here on the Inkbird, new app for me, looks very simple. It has an internal, ambient, and a target. So I'm going to select the target. It gives you options for types of food. I'll select beef. Nice easy slider for temperature, 125. I've set my target. And on the meter, very similar. You select probe, then you select the target. And then the food type, beef, roast. There's a tri-tip selection. And then again, it has a nice slider, and I can set that right at 125. Those are all set. Let's go ahead and get the probes into the tri-tips, and then I've got the smoker set at 275. It's been warming up. It should be right at temperature now. So we'll see how these sensors work. Start with the temp spike. We're going to take it, put it right into the center, and make sure it gets into the minimum line on the probe. Next, the Inkbird, same thing. And lastly, the meter. Let's see how they read now. Right now, the temp spike is pretty stable at 46 degrees internal, 72 degrees ambient. The Inkbird is the same, 46 and 70. And the meter's reading 44 and ambient of 82. I'm gonna get these onto the smoker, and then I'm gonna set the phones up and record how they progress. We'll time lapse it so that it goes faster for y'all throughout the cook. It should take about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. All right, so the cook is done using the ThermoPro Temp Spike, the Inkbird INT-11P-B, and the meter 1.0. And the results are in. So let's talk about it. One, I could not do what I thought I could do with a camera over all 3 phones and let you watch it, because I couldn't get the probes, all 3 of them, to reach into the house here. The Thermo Pro, right? Putting the booster box just outside our back door could reach pretty much anywhere in the house. Not a problem. The meter, I had to keep the meter block within about 4 or 5 feet from the smoker. And then the phone that was communicating with that could only reach to about our table just outside the outside door. And the Inkbird was about the same as the meter. So as far as communication, it didn't hold up to the Thermo Pro Temp Spike. But I will say the accuracy of the cooks, all 3 of them were right on line with each other. The ease of using the app is really nice. I do like it. The app's actually a little better, a little simpler to use than the Temp Spike, and it's right about the same as the meter app. So there you go. Now, as you know, we have a very thick steel smoker, the Yoder, and I'm sure that's limiting some of that communication. So if your smoker's a little closer to the house, or it's not quite as thick as our Yoder, this may work out great for you. If it's a little further away, you may have some challenges. But yeah, end result, all of the tri-tips look amazing. They're still resting. The apps work great, and I was able to follow all 3 of them right along all through the cook, and without any problems once I got the range right. So there you go. There's our review of the Inkbird INT-11P-B temp probe. So thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the Galley of the Sun.